I grew up in South Louisiana, and when I was growing up, all my friends from school, or most of my friends from school, were Roman Catholic, and they would talk about going to catechism during the week. Well, I was Baptist, and I really didn't even know what catechism was. That was something they did. We didn't have catechism. We went to Sunday school. And so the Baptist kids went to Sunday school, and the Roman Catholic kids went to catechism. I assumed it was something similar. But I always thought that catechism was a Catholic thing. I was probably an adult before I realized the word catechism actually just simply means instruction by the use of questions and answers. And so it's that format. And I realized... I discovered that there's, in Baptist history, Baptists have used catechisms quite regularly up until, I guess, in modern times, it kind of has fallen out of disuse. Some people are starting to rediscover some of those, and I am one of those, and that's why I'm making this little video. I want to recommend to you the Baptist Catechism. Actually, there's many Baptist catechisms that have been written over the years, but usually when somebody says the Baptist Catechism, they're talking about Keach's Catechism, Benjamin Keach. People like to point out that Keach actually did not write the catechism. Somebody else did, but Keach popularized it, and so that's why his name has been connected with Keach's Catechism or the Baptist Catechism. It was during that same time period as the London Baptist Confession of Faith of 1689, and so if you're familiar with that, you're probably familiar with the Baptist Catechism. If not, that's the time period that this catechism came out of. I found this catechism very helpful. Actually, at Lakeshore Baptist Church, where I pastor, a few years ago, we went through the catechism on Wednesday evenings. We just took one question a week, and went through it. It took us a couple of years because there's about 118 questions and answers, and each question and answer has scripture references. And so we took the time to look up each one of those scripture references and discuss it, and I taught on it. Very helpful. The catechism, I think, is much more helpful than you would first realize if you just sat down and just read through it quickly. That's helpful. It's good. But taking the time to look up all those passages was very helpful for our study. And the reason I'm bringing this up today, actually, I'm posting this on New Year's Day 2021, and this time of year a lot of people are starting to think about their scripture reading plan and starting new and starting fresh with maybe daily devotionals and things like that, and the Baptist Catechism works great as a daily devotion. Sort of a self-study, a devotional guide. And so that's why I've put together a devotional guide. Actually, it's the Baptist Catechism Journal is what I call it. It's a little booklet. You can find it on Amazon. I don't have a physical copy with me, believe it or not, but maybe I'll edit it and put a picture of it right here. It looks like this. And so you can get it on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And basically what this resource is, what I've done is published a book where every page, 118 pages with 118 questions, and every page has a question answer on the top of the page with the scripture references and then lines, like a blank line journal. And so the idea is that you could use it as a self-study, that you would read the question and then read the answer and then look up the scripture passages and journal your thoughts and take notes. And then you have a very handy devotional guide there as you work your way through question by question. I recommend when you look up the scripture passages, this is just what I did when I was studying through it, and I've gone through it a couple of times. Might do it again this year, who knows? But instead of just reading the few verses that the authors of the catechism put in there, maybe read that whole paragraph, and then ask yourself the question. This is the sort of self-study methodology that I use with something like this, or a confessional statement or something like this. You say, they're asking yourself this question: why did the authors of this put this passage for this question and answer? And how did they get the answer that they're giving out of that verse? You see what I'm saying? Because we as Baptists believe that these proof texts, if you will, are not just there to lend credence to our opinions. Instead, we're actually getting the answers from the Scriptures. The Scripture is our final authority. And so you can ask yourself the question, okay, this verse, how does that help us answer the question that's there? And so I find it a very helpful tool. You can discover what Baptists have believed over the years. And actually, there's not a whole lot in this catechism that is distinctly Baptists. It's very similar to the Westminster Shorter Catechism that Presbyterians use. There's several questions, of course, that are different about baptism and church membership and a few other things. But much of it is very similar. And so I would highly encourage you to do that. Look, like I said, in the description of the video here, and you can find a link to Amazon. You can get a copy for yourself, and you work your way through it. I believe it's a helpful tool, and it'll help you really put some things together theologically. It's really a systematic theology study in shortened form that you can expand out of as you search the scriptures for yourself. So just this quick little video to recommend to you, the Baptist Catechism Journal. You can get it on Amazon. Follow the link in the description. I'd appreciate it because I'm the one that put the book together, and I'm selling those on Amazon. I get a few cents out of each one that's sold there on Amazon. But really, I did it to help people and to encourage the study of the Baptist Catechism for your good and for God's glory. God bless you, and have a Happy New Year.